The Andorian fleet's tractor beams latched onto the Earthship Curiosity, treating it like a child's plaything. Admiral Quasar's dismissive attitude towards human technology was about to cost him dearly. Captain Richard Harris gritted his teeth as the Curiosity shuddered under the alien grip. He'd attempted peaceful contact, but the Andorians had scoffed at their primitive toy. Now, as his ship was pulled towards the massive Andorian vessels, Harris knew the fate of humanity rested on his next move. With a steady hand, he activated the hidden emergency beacon. The signal raced through subspace, carrying with it Earth's best-kept secret. Light years away in the swirling depths of the Cygnus Nebula, Admiral Helena Chen's eyes snapped open. The alert flashed across her neural interface, and she sat up in her command chair. "Operation Thunderbolt is a go," she announced, her voice echoing through the cavernous bridge of Earth's flagship. The nebula churned as hundreds of stealth warships and carriers shimmered into view, their adaptive camouflage peeling away to reveal sleek, predatory hulls. Earth's hidden fleet, the product of decades of clandestine technological development, prepared for battle. Aboard the captured Curiosity, Harris and his crew endured invasive scans and probing questions. Andorian scientists furrowed their brows, antennae twitching in confusion as they tried to reconcile the presence of living beings on what they'd assumed was an unmanned probe. "How is this possible?" demanded the lead researcher, his translator struggling to keep up with his agitated clicks and whistles. "Your vessel is barely more advanced than an interplanetary shuttle." In the diplomatic halls of Earth's capital, ambassadors worked feverishly to secure the Curiosity's release. Their pleas fell on deaf ears as the Andorians cited their self-proclaimed superior status among galactic civilizations. Little did the aliens know, Earth had been watching them for years. Covert operatives had infiltrated Andorian society, gathering crucial intelligence on military capabilities and cultural weaknesses. This information now flowed to Admiral Chen as she finalized her battle plans. The fate of humanity's place in the galaxy hung in the balance. Earth's hidden might was about to be unleashed, challenging the very foundations of galactic power structures. Captain Harris, aware of the impending conflict, began his own covert operation. Under the guise of cooperation, he worked to sabotage the Andorian systems from within. A misplaced wire here, a corrupted data stream there, small actions that would sow chaos when the time came. As Earth's fleet approached, tension built across the stars. The Andorians, confident in their perceived technological superiority, had no idea of the storm about to break upon them. Humanity was ready to prove that appearances could be deceiving, especially when it came to human ingenuity and military prowess. Admiral Chen stood on the bridge of her flagship, watching as the tactical display showed her forces entering the final approach. She allowed herself a small smile. The Andorians thought human ships were toys. They were about to learn a very expensive lesson about underestimating their opponents. With a single command, Earth's hidden fleet prepared to reveal itself. The galaxy was about to witness the true face of human technological advancement, and nothing would ever be the same again. The vast expanse of space seemed to hold its breath as Earth's hidden fleet approached the Andorian forces. Admiral Helena Chen's eyes narrowed, her focus laser-sharp as she initiated the first phase of Operation Thunderbolt. "Deploy stealth probes," she ordered, her voice calm and measured. "Let's see what our friends are up to." Within moments, dozens of sleek obsidian-black probes detached from the Earth ships. Their surfaces rippled with adaptive camouflage, rendering them all but invisible to the naked eye. As they streaked towards the Andorian fleet, not a single alarm sounded on the alien vessels. Inside the Andorian flagship, Captain Richard Harris worked feverishly at a maintenance terminal. His fingers flew across the alien interface, years of intelligence gathering paying off as he navigated the complex systems. A bead of sweat trickled down his temple as he initiated a cascade of subtle malfunctions throughout the ship. Harris muttered under his breath, "A little hiccup in the life support here, a power fluctuation there." He allowed himself a grim smile as warning lights began to flicker on adjacent consoles. Back on Earth, The United Earth Defense Council chamber buzzed with tension. General Marcus Steele stood at attention, his weathered face set in determined lines as he addressed the gathered officials. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, his voice gruff but clear, "I propose we prepare for a potential boarding action." He activated a holographic display, revealing a sleek, armored exoskeleton. "Our exo-armor suits are ready for deployment. They'll give our troops the edge they need in hand-to-hand combat with the Andorians." The council members leaned forward, their expressions a mix of concern and hope. After a brief discussion, they nodded their assent. General Steele wasted no time, immediately opening a secure channel to his elite boarding teams. Aboard the Andorian flagship, a young science officer named Lieutenant Zara found herself in a moral quandary. Her antenna twitched nervously as she reviewed the data on the human vessel. Something didn't add up. The sophistication of the Curiosity's systems, while well hidden, hinted at a level of advancement far beyond what her superiors believed. Taking a deep breath, Zara made her decision. She discreetly accessed a private communication channel and sent a carefully worded message to Captain Harris. "Human Captain," it read, "I believe my people have gravely misjudged yours. If conflict is inevitable, I offer my assistance in exchange for asylum. We need not be enemies." Harris, still working at the maintenance terminal, felt a surge of surprise as the message appeared on his screen. He hesitated only for a moment before typing a cautious reply. "Message received, Lieutenant. Your aid could save lives on both sides. Proceed with caution." As this secret alliance formed, Admiral Quasar's patience wore thin. He stormed onto the bridge of his flagship, his antenna rigid with frustration. A ripple of unease passed through the bridge crew. One officer, a seasoned veteran named Commander Thex, stepped forward. "Sir," he said, his voice low but firm, "I must object. We have no proof these beings aren't sentient. Such actions could be seen as a violation of galactic law." Quasar's eyes narrowed dangerously. "Are you questioning my orders, Commander?" Before Thex could respond, a communication officer interrupted. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from Earth." The main view screen flickered to life, displaying a stern-faced human diplomat. The message was brief, but loaded with implication. Admiral Quasar scoffed, waving dismissively at the screen. "Empty threats from a primitive species. Ignore this foolishness and proceed with the interrogations." Little did Quasar know that at that very moment, Earth's stealth probes were transmitting a wealth of tactical data back to Admiral Chen's fleet. Chen leaned over a holographic display, her eyes darting across the three-dimensional representation of the Andorian fleet formation. "There," she murmured, pointing to a gap in the enemy's sensor coverage. "That's our opening. Adjust attack vector to approach from bearing 47 Mark 32. We'll hit them where they're blind." As Earth's fleet maneuvered into position, Captain Harris and Lieutenant Zara raced against time. They worked in tandem, Harris providing the access codes, while Zara navigated the ship's systems with native fluency. "We're almost there," Zara whispered, her antenna quivering with tension. "Just a few more seconds and got it." She allowed herself a small smile of triumph as the flagship's main weapon systems went dark. Alarms blared throughout the Andorian fleet as ship after ship reported critical system failures. Admiral Quasar's face drained of color as he realized the magnitude of his miscalculation. "What's happening?" he demanded, his voice rising in panic. "Get those weapons back online." But it was too late. At that moment, Admiral Chen gave the order that would change the course of galactic history. In an instant, the void of space was filled with the imposing sight of Earth's hidden fleet. Sleek warships and massive carriers shimmered into view, their hulls filled with weaponry, the likes of which the Andorians had never seen. The human vessels moved with astonishing speed and precision, exploiting the gap in the Andorian defenses. Energy weapons lanced out, striking with pinpoint accuracy at the weakened Andorian ships. Aboard the Curiosity, now nestled deep within the Andorian flagship, Captain Harris felt the shudder of impacts. He turned to his crew, a fierce light in his eyes. "This is it, people," he said, his voice steady and determined. "We've done our part. Now let's be ready to take back our ship when the time comes. As the battle raged around them, the crew of the Curiosity prepared for their own fight. They knew that somewhere out there, Earth's forces were fighting to free them and to secure humanity's place among the stars. The galaxy watched in awe as the true face of human military might was finally revealed. The Andorian fleet, caught off guard and crippled by sabotage, struggled to mount an effective defense. Energy beams crisscrossed the void, and missiles left fiery trails in their wake as the two forces clashed. Admiral Chen stood tall on her bridge, watching the battle unfold with steely persistence. She knew this was only the beginning, that the true test of Earth's capabilities was yet to come. But for now, humanity had seized the initiative, and they had no intention of letting go. Go of it. The void erupted in a dazzling display of destructive power as Earth's hidden fleet unleashed its full might upon the unsuspecting Andorians. Admiral Chen's meticulous planning paid off in spades. Earth's ships slipped through the gap in Andorian sensor coverage without difficulty, their initial strike devastating and precise. High-energy particle beams lanced across space, carving through Andorian hulls with ease. Quantum-guided missiles weaved impossible paths, finding their targets with unerring accuracy. "Impossible!" he sputtered, antenna twitching erratically. "How can these primitives possess such weapons?" His subordinates scrambled to respond, but their efforts were in vain. The sabotage efforts of Captain Harris and Lieutenant Zara had borne fruit. As the flagship's shield generators sputtered and died, Harris turned to his crew. "Now's our chance," he said, voice low and urgent. "We make for the hangar bay. Move fast, stay low, and remember your training." They moved swiftly through the corridors, years of intelligence gathering, allowing them to navigate the alien vessel with eerie familiarity. Zara led the way, her knowledge of Andorian protocols proving invaluable as they bypassed security checkpoints. Meanwhile, in the cold vacuum of space, General Marcus Steele's boarding teams launched their assault. Clad in sleek exo-armor suits, human soldiers erupted from specially designed pods, crossing the void between ships in seconds. They latched onto Andorian hulls, cutting through with plasma torches and breaching charges. Inside the Andorian vessels, chaos reigned. Security teams rushed to repel the boarders, only to find themselves outmatched by the enhanced strength and agility granted by the exo-armor. The clang of metal on metal echoed through corridors as human and Andorian forces clashed in close-quarters combat. Admiral Chen watched the battle unfold from her command center, a holographic display showing the positions of all ships in real time. She nodded in satisfaction as the Andorian fleet's formation began to crumble. A new wave of specialized craft spread out among the battle zone, activating devices that warped the very fabric of space-time. Andorian ships found their faster-than-light drives suddenly inoperable, trapping them in normal space where Earth's forces held the advantage. On the Andorian flagship's bridge, Admiral Quasar's face had lost all color. His once proud fleet lay in ruins around him, their formation shattered, ships disabled or destroyed. He barked orders frantically, trying to rally his forces, but the flagship's ability to coordinate had been crippled by Harris and Zara's sabotage. But his commands went largely unheeded. Andorian ships struggled to maneuver, their systems compromised and crews in disarray. Earth's fleet pressed their advantage, methodically picking off isolated vessels with surgical precision. In a cramped maintenance shaft, Captain Harris and his team paused to catch their breath. The sounds of battle echoed through the ship's hull, punctuated by the occasional shudder of impacts. "We're almost there," Zara said, her antenna twitching nervously. "The auxiliary hangar is just ahead. If we can reach it—" Her words were cut off by the staccato sound of Andorian pulse rifles. Security forces had finally caught up to them. Harris nodded to his team, and they returned fire, their commandeered Andorian weapons filling the air with crackling energy bolts. "Push forward," Harris shouted over the din. "We didn't come this far to fail now." They fought their way through, Zara's knowledge of the ship's layout allowing them to outflank their pursuers. Finally, they burst into the hangar bay, a small Andorian shuttle sitting unattended on the launch pad. "I can fly this," Zara said. her fingers already dancing across the access panel. The shuttle's engines hummed to life as Harris and his crew piled in. As they lifted off, the hangar bay doors opening to reveal the star-studded backdrop of space, Harris got his first real look at the battle raging outside. Earthships moved with grace and power, their advanced weapons tearing through Andorian defenses. Disabled Andorian vessels drifted listlessly, some venting atmosphere from multiple hull breaches. General Steele's boarding teams had secured their beachheads, pushing deeper into the captured Andorian ships. The exo-armor suits proved their worth, allowing human soldiers to go toe-to-toe with Andorian defenders in physical combat. As engineering sections and bridge areas fell to Earth's forces, the tide of battle shifted even further. Aboard his flagship, Admiral Quasar faced the most difficult decision of his career. His fleet lay in tatters, his own ship heavily damaged and barely responsive. The long-held belief in Andorian superiority that had defined his entire life crumbled in the face of Earth's overwhelming display of power. "Sir," his second-in-command said quietly, we must consider our options. Perhaps it's time to—" But even as the words left his mouth, Quasar knew the truth. They had gravely underestimated humanity, and now they were paying the price. His antenna drooped in defeat as he watched more of his ships fall to Earth's relentless assault. Admiral Chen sensed victory within her grasp. She leaned forward, studying the tactical display intently. "Prepare for final attack run," she ordered. "Target the Andorian flagship. I want Admiral Quasar captured alive if possible. It's time to end this." Earth's ships moved into position, forming a spearhead aimed directly at the heart of the Andorian fleet. As they prepared to deliver the killing blow, the galaxy held its collective breath. The outcome of this battle would reshape the balance of power among the stars, and humanity stood poised to claim its place as a force to be reckoned with. Captain Harris, watching from the stolen shuttle, felt a mix of pride and apprehension. They had won this battle, but he knew that the true challenges lay ahead. As Earth's fleet closed in for the final strike, he couldn't help but wonder what the future held for humanity in this vast, complex galaxy they were now irrevocably part of. As Earth's fleet closed in for the final strike, the void erupted with a new energy signature. Massive ships materialized at the edge of the battle zone, their sleek hulls adorned with the unmistakable insignia of the Galactic Council. At their center, an imposing vessel dwarfed even the largest Earth and Andorian ships. Admiral Chen's eyes widened as she recognized the newcomers. "All ships, hold fire!" she barked, her voice cutting through the tension on the bridge. "Galactic Council peacekeepers have entered the field." Admiral Chen's eyes sharp as she weighed her options. She knew the diplomatic consequences of defying the Council could be severe. With a heavy sigh, she gave the order. "All ships, stand down. Power down weapons, but maintain defensive postures." Across the battlefield, Earth's vessels halted their advance. Energy weapons powered down, and missile launchers stood silent. The sudden absence of weapons fire left an eerie quiet in its wake. On the Andorian flagship, Admiral Quasar saw a lifeline in the Council's arrival. His antenna twitched as he quickly issued orders. "Cease all offensive operations. Comply with the Council's directive." As the two fleets disengaged, Arbitrator Xanthor's ship moved between them. Its massive hull served as a physical barrier, a symbol of the Council's authority. "Representatives from both sides will board my vessel immediately for emergency negotiations," Xanthor announced. "Admiral Chen, Admiral Quasar, select your delegates and prepare for transport." Admiral Chen turned to her communications officer. "Get me Captain Harris. He's our best choice for this." Aboard the stolen Andorian shuttle, Captain Harris received the transmission with a mix of relief and apprehension. "Understood, Admiral," he replied. "We're en route to the Council ship now." As Harris and his team approached the Council vessel, they marveled at its size and complexity. Massive docking bays opened to receive delegations from both sides. Harris couldn't help but feel a sense of awe as he stepped onto the polished deck of the Council ship, Zara close behind him. In a grand chamber, adorned with symbols from 100 worlds, Arbitrator Xanthor awaited them. The Xanthari's 4 eyes blinked in sequence as he regarded the human and Andorian delegations. "We convene this emergency session to address the conflict between Earth and the Andorian Empire," he intoned, his voice resonating with authority. Admiral Quasar, his blue skin pale with stress, glared at Harris. "These humans have deceived us all," he spat. "They hid their true capabilities, built a secret war fleet." "A fleet we constructed for our own defense," Harris countered, his voice steady. "After centuries of observing galactic politics, we knew we needed to be prepared." Xanthor's eyes narrowed. "Explain, Captain Harris, how long has Earth been aware of galactic civilization?" Harris took a deep breath. "For decades, Arbitrator. We intercepted communications, salvaged crashed ships, and pieced together the reality of our place in the cosmos. But we also saw the conflicts, the power struggles. We chose to remain hidden, to build our strength in secret." The council chamber erupted in murmurs. Representatives from dozens of species conferred in hushed tones, their expressions a mix of shock and concern. "This is unprecedented," a Valaxian councillor hissed. "A pre-contact world secretly advancing to this level of technology?" "It changes everything," a Nimbulian added, its gelatinous form rippling with agitation. As the negotiations continued, news of the battle and the Council's intervention raced across subspace. On Earth, global leaders scrambled to respond. Military installations went on high alert, while civilians gathered around screens, watching in awe as humanity's true place in the galaxy was revealed. In the Council chamber, the debate raged on. Admiral Quasar presented evidence of Earth's sudden emergence as a threat to galactic stability. Captain Harris countered with records of Andorian aggression, including the unwarranted capture of the Curiosity. "The Andorians have a history of subjugating less advanced species," Harris argued. "We had every reason to fear their intentions." As the council members deliberated, an unexpected development shifted the dynamic once again. A Varga representative approached Harris during a recess. "Captain," the insectoid alien chittered, "my government is most impressed with your technology. We would be interested in establishing trade relations with Earth." Similar overtures came from other races, each eager to align themselves with this newly revealed power. The sudden influx of potential allies strengthened Earth's position, much to Admiral Quasar's visible frustration. Back on the captured Andorian vessels, General Marcus Steele's ground forces made a startling discovery. "Admiral Chen," he reported via secure channel, "we've uncovered star charts detailing unexplored regions. There's more here than the Andorians have been sharing with the Council." This new intelligence bolstered Earth's bargaining power. As Harris presented the findings to the Council, the mood in the chamber shifted. Many began to see the Andorians as the greater threat to galactic stability. Lieutenant Zara's testimony proved crucial. Her insights into Andorian society and military structure painted a picture of an empire built on expansion and subjugation. "They would never have accepted Earth as an equal," she stated, her antenna quivering with emotion. "Conquest was always their goal." As the negotiations reached a critical juncture, alarms blared throughout the council ship. A group of hardline Andorian officers had broken the ceasefire, launching a surprise attack on one of Earth's carriers. Earth's defensive systems sprang to life. In a dazzling display of technological superiority, they neutralized the threat without a single casualty. The failed attack served only to further undermine the Andorian position. Arbitrator Xanthor, his 4 eyes gleaming with purpose, addressed the chamber. "It is clear that the balance of power has shifted. I propose that Earth be granted full membership in the Galactic Council, with the provision that they share certain technologies for the benefit of all races." The chamber erupted in debate. Some council members embraced the idea, while others recoiled at the thought of such a rapid rise in human influence. As arguments flew back and forth, Captain Harris received an encrypted transmission from Earth. The United Earth Defense Council had reached a decision that would alter the course of the negotiations. Harris stood, his expression resolute as he prepared to address the Council one final time. The future of humanity among the stars hung in the balance, and he knew his next words would shape the destiny of his species for generations to come. "Esteemed members of the Galactic Council," he began, his voice steady and clear, "on behalf of Earth, I bring news that I believe will change the course of these negotiations and the future of our galaxy. Earth has decided to share a groundbreaking technology as a gesture of goodwill," Harris continued. "We have developed a revolutionary clean energy source capable of powering entire planets without harmful emissions." A collective gasp rippled through the chamber. Representatives from various species leaned forward, their interest piqued. Even Admiral Quasar's antennae twitched in surprise. Arbitrator Xanthor's 4 eyes blinked rapidly. "Captain Harris, this is unexpected. Can you elaborate on this technology?" Harris nodded, pulling up a holographic display. "Our scientists have harnessed the power of zero-point energy, tapping into the quantum vacuum itself. This technology can provide limitless clean power to any world, regardless of its natural resources or environmental conditions." The hologram showed a compact reactor, pulsing with ethereal energy. As Harris explained the basic principles, murmurs of excitement filled the chamber. Xanthor raised a hand, silencing the room. "This changes everything," he said, his voice resonating with authority. "I believe we have an opportunity here for lasting peace and unprecedented cooperation." The arbitrator's gaze swept the chamber before settling on Harris and Quasar. "I propose the following. Earth shall be granted full membership in the Galactic Council, with the condition that they gradually reveal their military capabilities to ensure transparency. In exchange, Earth will share its clean energy technology and receive protection from the Council's peacekeeping fleets." Turning to the Andorian delegation, Xanthor continued, "The Andorian Empire will be required to pay reparations for their unprovoked attack on the Curiosity and undergo a Council-supervised disarmament program." Admiral Quasar bristled, his blue skin darkening. "This is outrageous. You cannot expect us to—" "Admiral," Xanthor interrupted, his tone brooking no argument. "The alternative is continued conflict and potential expulsion from the Council. Consider your next words carefully." Quasar's mouth snapped shut, his antennae drooping in defeat. Harris received a priority communication from Admiral Chen. "Captain," her voice came through clearly in his earpiece, "these terms are favorable. Earth High Command agrees. Accept the offer." "Arbitrator," Harris said, stepping forward, "on behalf of Earth, we accept these terms." All eyes turned to Admiral Quasar. The Andorian's shoulders slumped as he realized the futility of further resistance. "The Andorian Empire accepts the Council's terms," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. The next 48 hours were a whirlwind of activity. Harris found himself in marathon negotiation sessions, working alongside diplomats and legal experts from dozens of species. The human captain marveled at the diversity of the beings around him, from the crystalline Xinthu to the gaseous Vortani. As the framework of the agreement took shape, Harris received another communication from Admiral Chen. "Captain, we need to address the issue of the captured Andorian ships. High Command suggests we use this as an opportunity for reconciliation." Harris considered for a moment, then smiled. He knew exactly what to propose. During the next full session, Harris stood to address the Council. "Regarding the Andorian vessels currently in Earth's possession, I propose we transform them into a joint Earth-Andorian scientific expedition fleet. These ships will be crewed by members of both our species, dedicated to exploration and discovery." The chamber erupted in surprised murmurs. Admiral Quasar's eyes widened, his antennae perking up in interest. Arbitrator Xanthor nodded approvingly. "An excellent suggestion, Captain Harris. This gesture of reconciliation embodies the spirit of cooperation we seek to foster." With this final piece in place, the comprehensive treaty, dubbed the Galactic Concord, was ready for signing. The ceremony was set to take place on a massive space station at the intersection of Earth, Andorian, and Council space. As Harris prepared for the historic event, he couldn't help but reflect on the incredible journey that had brought him to this point. What had begun as a routine exploration mission had turned into a pivotal moment for humanity and the galaxy at large. The signing ceremony was a spectacle unlike anything Harris had ever seen. Representatives from dozens of alien races filled the station's grand hall, their diverse forms and colors a testament to the vastness of galactic civilization. Harris, resplendent in his dress uniform, approached the ornate table at the center of the hall. Beside him, Admiral Quasar walked stiffly, his face a mask of composure. Arbitrator Xanthor stood between them, the massive Galactic Concord document hovering as a hologram before them. "Captain James Harris, on behalf of Earth," Xanthor intoned. "Do you agree to the terms set forth in the Galactic Concord?" Harris's voice rang out clear and strong. "I do." Quasar hesitated for a fraction of a second before responding, "I do." As both leaders pressed their palms to the document, the hologram flashed, recording their biosignatures. A cheer went up from the assembled dignitaries, marking the dawn of a new era in galactic politics. Outside the space station, Earth's hidden fleet decloaked one final time. The sleek human ships, their hulls gleaming in the light of distant stars, began an intricate series of maneuvers. They were soon joined by vessels from other Council races, the combined fleet painting a picture of unity against the backdrop of space. As the ceremony concluded, Harris found himself approached by a Varga representative, the insectoid alien's compound eyes gleaming with interest. "Captain Harris," it chittered, "my government is most pleased with this outcome. We look forward to establishing strong trade partnerships with Earth." Similar sentiments were echoed by other races, each eager to forge new alliances with humanity. Harris felt a sense of pride and excitement at the possibilities that lay ahead. As the delegates began to disperse, Harris caught sight of Lieutenant Zara. The Andorian defector was deep in conversation with a group of human and alien scientists, her expertise already proving invaluable in planning the Joint Expedition Fleet's maiden voyage. Admiral Chen's voice came through Harris's communicator. "Excellent work, Captain. Report to the Curiosity as soon as possible. There's much to be done as we prepare for our new role in the galaxy." Harris acknowledged the order, his mind already racing with plans and possibilities. As he made his way to the docking bay, he knew that this was not an end, but a beginning. Humanity had taken its place among the stars, and the adventures that awaited them were beyond imagination. The Curiosity, newly refitted and upgraded, stood ready in its berth. As Harris approached his ship, he saw members of his crew working alongside Andorian engineers, their former animosity replaced by shared purpose. The captain smiled, knowing that the real work of building lasting peace and understanding was just beginning. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.